to me, discomfort means that I'm starting to change. I'm doing something different. And so it feels a little uncomfortable at first. It's like any new habit that you're creating. You may start a new routine where you wake up at 6 a.m. to do your meditation or whatever. As soon as I'll tell you, when I first started setting the alarm to get up and do meditation, it was not fun. It didn't feel good. But I thought if I keep doing it, and then at some point it just, I don't know, I became a morning person. It all changed all by itself and became effortless. But initially, you have to be willing to sit with this discomfort, which is the most challenging part for me, speaking for myself. It's, okay, I'm not where I want to be, and I'm not in the comfort of what used to be, which really wasn't working for me anymore. You know, when things don't work for you anymore, it did at one point. But when something doesn't work for you anymore, that's a good thing. It's, for me, it means that my spirit, my soul, whatever, something is calling me for more expansion. And while, like everybody else, why I look for expansion and appreciate it, I'm not comfortable with uncomfortable until I realize it's just part of it and I need to embrace it. The moment I leave resistance and I embrace it, it's better. It changes. But we forget that we have to love ourselves through it all. And what is love? Love is allowance. It's acceptance. So you may not feel like you're loving yourself when you're in the discomfort, but you actually are, because if you can love yourself during the discomfort, meaning you don't abandon yourself, you don't criticize yourself, you don't tell yourself you're doing something wrong. You recognize that you're in discomfort because you're changing. And we have a resistance to that we need to surrender and let go of. The only thing you can do is let them know that the pain they're in is not going to last. And if they actually learn to sit with it and listen to it, find out what it's trying to, stop being in resistance with it and befriend it. Without, and when I say befriend it, I don't mean that you make it, oh, I love suffering, I'm going to stay in it forever. I don't mean it that way. I mean that we stop being in resistance to it and recognize it's there for a purpose, because we're not in alignment. As soon as we get in alignment, we'll be out of it. But in order to get into alignment, we have to seek.
This process.
How do we support the process of
Change.
How do we support the process of change? I'm not sure what that. The process of change is going to be is allowance. It's non-resistance. That's how you support it. You can't control it when it's outside of you. We can't control anything past our nose. So for me, it's about allowance and trust. I've really had to step into a much more expansive, deeper trust with spirit, with source, God, whatever it is that you're comfortable with, the word for something greater than ourselves. I'm really in a trust that what's happening now is for our highest and greatest good. And so I'm excited. Which doesn't mean that I don't go into fear. I do. I just don't stay there. There's no way to avoid fear. It's part of the dimension we live in.